Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another movie review. Now today we're tackling kind of a strange movie to review. We're talking about Clifford the Big Red Dog. So I wanted to see Dune, didn't get a chance. I'm going to be seeing Ghostbusters 3 or Ghostbusters Afterlife hopefully very soon. So be sure to keep an eye out for that video. But yeah, so Clifford the Big Red Dog, man. Growing up, I was watching a lot of PBS Kids. A lot of Clifford, a lot of Arthur, a little bit of Cyber Chase, that kind of stuff. Dinosaur Train, whatever. But Clifford was always kind of a show that was kind of second to Arthur. Arthur was like the kiddie regular show. You know what I mean? And then I went Clifford, and then whatever. But just to let you know, the reason why I saw this film basically because I had a lot of this child nostalgia for the Clifford franchise. So. That's essentially what I was like, oh, okay, I would see it. Because, look, upon looking at the trailers for Clifford, the new movie, it definitely didn't look that great to me. I think it looked kind of kiddie, kind of cheesy. And, I get it. Clifford is not, it's a kid's show. It's literally for toddlers and small children. If you're an adult and you watch it, that's fine. But, like SpongeBob and Ninjago, a regular show, Adventure Time, that's for everyone. Clifford is more or less specifically for younger children. So, I kind of had that, thought going in. That, okay, this is probably going to be a kid's film. And to answer that question, is Clifford the Big Red Dog a kid's film? It's kind of hard, because I'm 23 and I had nostalgia for the show, so that's the main reason why I saw it. However, if you have not seen Clifford the Big Red Dog, the TV show, or read the books or whatever, and you want to see this film and you're an adult, teen, whatever, I still would recommend it. I think it's fun for adults, even though it's not made for adults. It's hard because Clifford the Big Red Dog, the show, it's very much a kid's show. It's extremely appropriate for a toddler, for a kid. That's what it's for. There's no like poop joke, fart joke. They don't say crap or sucks or there's no punching people and all that. It's just literally the most kid-friendly show you could probably think of on PBS Kids. And this movie is like that, but it's also not. Like there are scenes where they say sucks and I heard it crap and. They'll say, gosh darn it, and stuff like that. And, even though it's not, outright saying, it's not like Clifford saying the F word or anything like that, there are, moments without spoiling of people getting punched in the face, and there's chase scenes, and there's, Matrix references, and there's, stuff like that. More adult themes like bullying and harassment and, finding, Emily, Elizabeth Howard, she wanted to find a friend and not necessarily a pet, and that's where she found Clifford. There's a lot of adult messages in this where it's not definitely something only for children. So if you're basing it on the, Clifford TV show or the books, which are literally made for children, this is not literally made for children because, again, maybe it's just the way I effing grew up, but, punching someone in the face and saying sucks and gosh darn it and crap, stuff like that, having themes of betrayal and loss and bullying, harassment, that's definitely not something that a little toddler who's watching the show should probably be watching. So it's a weird, it's a weird gray area. It's not for kids only, but it's also not. It's weird, So again, if you grew up with the actual franchise, the books and the show, I would recommend seeing this film. If you're an adult and you haven't done anything and you think looks all right, go and watch it. I think if you're an adult, it's fun for you too. It technically is a fun movie for all ages. I'm 23 years old and I enjoyed it. So what do you want me to do? Even though I watched the show. So as far as the actual review, watching the trailer, it was kind of strange because the Clifford CGI didn't look too great. It looked kind of kiddie, kind of cheesy, kind of corny, dripping with cheese. And upon watching the film, I was actually really friggin' surprised because yes, it's the CGI for Clifford. Let's be real, it's not amazing. Is it bad? No. I think everything in this film, from the CGI to the music to the acting, which is actually surprisingly really good from the girl that plays Emily. It's all very average, Nothing's bad, and nothing's outright, holy crap, you need to go see this movie right freaking now type thing, It's just an average movie, but it's a good movie. There's a lot of, important messages in there about, like I said, all those adult messages about loss and, bullying and all that, but it also has to deal with a lot of emotions like love, Like, dogs are meant for love, That's the whole freaking purpose. So it's kind of cool that Emily, we all know the freaking gist, Emily loves Clifford so much that he grows to, like, mammoth size, a building size dog, and they kind of address that, because from what I remember in the theme song, it's just, Emily loved a dog and he got big, that's the kind of thing. You can meme that shit if you want, but basically, in the movie, they kind of explain how Clifford got big, and again, I don't want to spoil some things, but there's a little bit of magic at play, because it's a movie that takes place in real life, but it's also got some magic, element to it, so it's kind of like a hyper reality, an alternate reality of our real world, so it's not like a superhero thing, but it's kind of weird. Again, it's kind of like in that gray area, but it's good. You know what I mean? Everything about it's good. The only CGI that I would really complain about is when there is a scene where one or two characters do ride Clifford, as in they get on his back and they freaking ride him like a horse, and that looks a little wonky. You know, Clifford looks fine, but whenever there's a human on top of on top of Clifford, it looks a little bit strange. There's a scene you saw in the trailer where Clifford goes over like that dude, like that weird hamster ball looking thing in the park, and he kind of bounces it with his head, and it looks a little wonky. The dude inside the rubber ball thing looks kind of wonky. So, you know, CGI is not bad. It's not like, holy crap, you know. It's not like they butchered Clifford, you know what I mean? He's a big-ass dog that's red. You can't really mess that up. But they didn't, thankfully. You know, because if you mess up Clifford, the big red dog, you don't have a movie. You know, because that's the whole point of the freaking movie, is Clifford, the big red dog. So thankfully they got him right. In terms of acting, it's actually surprisingly really good. I think that there really isn't any... again, well, the acting kind of borderlines on a little bit cheesy and a little bit kiddie. Because, again, it's weird. I can't say this is a kid's film. And I also can't say it's a film for all ages. It's literally a freaking middle ground movie. Some of the acting is really, really, really good, and some of it, you know, especially with the editing, is borderline kind of kiddie and kind of cheesy. But again, that's the aesthetic, that's the, you know, purpose of the movie. In terms of the editing, the editing kind of screams wholesome. You know what I mean? Even when these, like some dude is punching a guy or tasing him with a freaking hand, or they're saying sucks, it just, for some reason, it feels wholesome, even though it really isn't when you compare it to the actual toddler show. But it, you know, it is something definitely that you look at it and you're like, all right, this is actually not too, you know, it's not too, I guess, foreboding to watch, because it's a Clifford movie. You know what I mean? You have to make sure the children are happy while also not making specifically for children. So I think that balance between the editing actually pretty good. Not perfect. You know, there's a few shots that are a little bit too quick or too fast paced. I think one guy's dialogue got kind of cut off mid sentence, but you know, whatever. The soundtrack, it's good. You know, it's that kind of movie where they play pop songs. I haven't listened to a freaking pop song in probably 28,000 years. You know me, I like Skillet, Disturbed, All Good Things. You know, I'm more like, you know, metal rock guy. I'm not like a pop singer dude. But, you know, if you like pop songs, I guess you'll find some of them alright. You know, I didn't really recognize any of them, but whatever. So the music, you know, it's hit and miss for me. The writing is actually pretty freaking good. It's pretty surprisingly pretty witty. There's a lot of jokes in here that land because of the comedy from the writing. You know, the actors are good, you know, but I think a lot of people forget that, you know, Will Ferrell, you know, like, and he's nothing, I'm just using him as an example. You know, take Will Ferrell, or, you know, a really popular comedian. He is funny, but really, it's more or less the writer that's funny. And Will Ferrell's just saying the line. You know, he might do a little spin on it, but really, it's the writer that's funny. And the writer for Clifford was pretty good. Not every joke lands. Some of them are kind of like, all right, what the heck was that? But most of them are pretty funny. I think there's what's that Asian kid name? Owen, he's pretty good. I think he was pretty cool. There's a little T-Bone reference, which I don't think Chloe's in it, but T-Bone's in it, which is kind of neat. So there's little, you know, Easter eggs like that. There's a really funny scene where there's like this Matrix, like Agent Smith type dude working with the thing. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. The writing for the actual plot is really good too. You know, they're not just saying, okay, Emily loved the dog, it's freaking big, and the whole movie's hijinks, and Clifford's, you know, oh, the comedy because Clifford's big. You know, that's not what they do. There's a part of that, but, you know, there's an element to why Emily needs a dog, why Emily loves Clifford so much. It's not just, oh, she loves him because he's a dog. She loves him that, and there's another reason why, which you'll see when you watch the movie. But there's another scene regarding, you know, because Clifford's a big freaking red dog in the real world, technically, you know, with some magic in it, whatever, but there's that element of, you know, real people is kind of like Jurassic World. You know, that guy, that fat dude, he wants to kind of weaponize the velociraptors, you know what I mean? And Owen, Chris Pratt Owen, not the Asian kid Owen, you know, Owen's like, no, this kind of thing. He's like, I don't want you to do that, you know, I don't want you to weaponize my raptors. And that's the same type of thing here. Clifford is literally getting chased by the freaking government and the FBI. He was like, look, we're going to try to weaponize Clifford and make him something, you know, we're going to F with him somehow. And Emily's like, no, he's my dog. So there's a lot of great plot points in there that are kind of surprising, and it goes over the line of the TV show and the books where, you know, the book, every, you know, different book or every episode is just kind of a different plot. It's a different thing. This is literally a cohesive narrative that ties together elements of the book. So if you're a big fan of the book, you know, I'm not a massive Clifford fan, but I just happened to watch it as a kid. But it's a good movie. I mean, I was expecting it to be dog shoot, you know, quite literally to be dog cheeks because there's a dog in it. But it's actually good. You know, would I recommend this? Yes. I probably will be buying it on Blu-ray. Again, it's a bit of a gray area in terms of if you're looking at the original, you know, context of being literally made for children. This really isn't because, again, there's some rude humor, there's some action, stuff like that. Is it a kid-friendly film? Yes, you know, but I'm not saying go take your 2-year-old or your 4-year-old. You know what I mean? It's rated PG, so really, if you're following PG, you really have to be 10, but no one follows that shit except for me. But I do think that, you know, this movie should have been rated G. Let's just be honest. The cartoon and the books are literally for children, and having, you know, there really aren't a lot of G films out there now, and this really could have benefited from a G rating, just how Venom could have benefited from an R rating. Venom being PG-13 and Clifford the Big Red Dog being PG, yes, it should have been a different rating for both, but they both work. So that's my analogy there. Both work. Clifford the Big Red Dog is actually a pretty good freaking movie. I was really surprised by it. Again, not everything's perfect. There's a few CGI things, a few editing things, a few, you know, 1 or 2 maybe jokes that didn't land. But it is a good film for kids. It's a good film for adults. It's a wholesome film. If you have a dog, go watch it. If you don't have a dog, go watch it. If you like the Clifford franchise when you were a kid or you like it now, I would recommend it. Again, I will be buying it on Blu-ray. It's actually really surprising. You know, it's all average stuff. Nothing's like, wow, this is a must-see. But I was really borderline looking at it and going, wow, this is going to be trash. You know, the trailer looks like garbage. And upon watching it, I was like, you know, actually laughing and actually having fun with it. And it's actually a pretty good movie. So I'm going to give Clifford the Big Red Dog a B+. You know, it's basically an average film, but, you know, there's nothing horrible about it, but there's nothing, again, A-worthy in it either. I'm going to give it a B+. So, again, I really enjoyed it. You know, it surprised me. I didn't want to come down here and say it's garbage or it's horrible. You know, I didn't want to come to my editing and be like, this movie sucks, you know what I mean? And it's not. And it's also not, this is a must-see. It's just simply a good film for all ages. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.